Reimagining Archetypes in the Digital Age, a study of storytelling. Through Jungian characters, Campbell's hero's journey, and AI-driven animations in university design classes. Presented by Peggy Bloomer, Assistant Professor of Art and Design, Central Connecticut State University. In 2010, when I began my dissertation on the traces and use of myth in digital media, myth was predominantly found in gaming, animation, and film. Franchises like Marvel and Disney were certainly incorporating fairy tales and elements of Campbell's monomyth. Yet the disenchantment typical of postmodern philosophy still dominated cultural discourse. By the time I completed my manuscript for Surfgeist, Narratives of Epic Mythology, in new media, contemporary philosophers were already discussing what is now termed metamodernism, or the post-postmodern era. As you will see at the conclusion of this presentation, my students skillfully blend the hallmarks of enthusiasm and irony in their storytelling. My students doodle and create characters everywhere, on whiteboards, in their notes and journals, and even within my lists of assignments and due dates. I wanted to encourage them to use illustration to explore how the Gestalt principles of perception help humans find figures and meaning in 2D compositions. Additionally, I hope to encourage them to create animations for storytelling and web content, as well as to develop data visualizations. This course is the first of several exploratory courses I intend to develop to foster visual storytelling. Here are the course learning outcomes for the class. There is a lot of skill set learning that takes place in the class, along with creating plots and characters. Students need to pay attention to how motion graphics are put together and develop an understanding of keyframes, timelines, and classic animation techniques of visual hyperbole. Planning and creating storyboards is a necessary design skill that takes a lot of time. As you will see later in this presentation, the area of planning and verbalizing details is an area where artificial intelligence incorporated into software was very helpful in the class. Introducing students to the concept of archetypes was remarkably easy. They grew up immersed in cartoons and Disney animations, and many of them were avid gamers, comic book readers, and anime enthusiasts. Pokémon was a shared influence, and many had a deep appreciation for the animated films of Miyazaki Hayao. Fans of Transformers, the Marvel franchise, and The Incredibles, my students were well versed in heroes and heroines whose stories drew from McLuhan's theories and world epics. With influences like Harry Potter, Star Wars, The Hunger Games, the Avengers films, and the Divergent series, they were accustomed to seeing female and male characters as complex protagonists and heroes. Even if they hadn't heard of Jung or Joseph Campbell, they intuitively grasped the stages of the monomyth and the significance of various archetypes. They all had favorite childhood stories and heroes, which they eagerly shared in presentations about the hero's journey with each other in class. Students created 3 characters for their stories: a hero, a mentor, and a trickster. They had the option to draw by hand, use a tablet with programs like Procreate or Adobe Illustrator, or utilize a text-to-image AI generator. Each character required a 6-pose character sheet. While some students had limited drawing skills, others were accomplished illustrators. Many chose to use their hand-drawn characters, despite their challenges in directing AI tools with prompts to achieve their desired outcomes. Similar to getting good search results, it quickly became apparent that effectively prompting AI is a skill that requires practice and a bit of luck. Many students used Adobe Firefly as an IA, text-to-image generator, although there were days when it didn't work reliably. Above are some of their character sets. The next step required students to create a 12-panel script for their story, incorporating action, narration, camera angles, and sound necessary to produce an actual animation. This script served as the foundation for a planning storyboard, which would guide the production of 12 scenes in the animation. Students had the option to do this by hand or use an AI-assisted program. The class used a program called Boards, which allowed students to generate text-to-image storyboards, create their own images, or combine both with directions for action, narration, camera angles, and sound. This storyboard could then be developed into an animatic storyboard. One student completed their storyboard by hand, while the other examples were created using boards and artificial intelligence. Overall, students agreed that this approach significantly saved time, and while it wouldn't replace the process of creating an animation, it was a valuable tool for rapid prototyping. Here are my conclusions. My students may not be familiar with the literary traditions of myths and epics, but they are well aware of the monomyth and the universal appeal of these journeys. They understand and enjoy these narratives and are eager to learn about archetypes and create their own stories. That was the easy part of the class. However, the time and attention to detail that animation requires proved challenging for many students. Students are also aware of and embrace the multicultural aspects of these stories and traditions. As gender roles have evolved, they increasingly use female heroes and are likely to continue expanding on gender models in storytelling. As true digital natives, students have moved beyond postmodernism, displaying the wit and irony of a metamodernist viewpoint, as you will see in their story trailers. Please enjoy some of their work.
Vale! Vale! I'm leaving to go deliver these herbs to Madame Grace. Tend to the shop while I am gone.
Goodbye, Father. See you later. What is that? Father! Father!
Go, Vale! Run away! Get out of here! Don't look back!
I'm sorry. The Tale of Vale, coming soon.
This summer, but not really. A new animated series is coming. No, but seriously, it's not really.
Boo!
Meet Soraya,
That's my name.
a normal girl who kinda accidentally got sent to another world, and now she has to fulfill a prophecy.
Prophecy? So like I'm destined to go on dangerous quests. Meet friends. I love you guys.
Get off me.
And save the world from some bad guy?
Yup,
Woo!
we're fucked.
I'm okay.
Joins Raya as she uses her bravery
Oh.
and her wits
Huh. Who knew that stealing was illegal?
to save the world.
My name is Drya. And I am a hero.
Zraya and the Realm of Mathena. Watch it never.
Join my quest.
No.
Aurora and Jasper. A new dungeon has appeared in the Enchanted Grove for you two to explore. Be careful, the high density of mana inside will distort the space within the dungeon. Additionally, keep your eyes out for traps. Dungeons are known to contain countless dangerous traps. Be on the lookout for any ancient and powerful spells or other treasures that may be hidden in the dungeon. You never know what you may find.
Clarice was born to protect her garden. She did this perfectly. Until Gentle Bug went missing. Truths will be revealed. Tears will be shed. Will the garden ever be the same?
Thank you for watching and listening to my experiences with my design students. While I am nostalgic about my undergraduate introduction to myths and epics, I wish that I could share the awe I experienced the first time I read Gilgamesh as an undergraduate, or was amazed at the passion, might, and bloodlust of Grendel's mother and Beowulf's bombastic brags and lineage. Still, myths and epic literature are alive and thriving in my classes. My students embrace the multiculturalism of today's society within their storytelling and are unafraid to mix and choose cultures. They are aware of the limitations our politics, religions, and economies place on the individual within modern society, but they see themselves and their cohorts as capable of agency, as being heroes in their own lives. They hear the poet's voice and they endure and prevail. They use their imaginations, wit, innocence, experience, and skepticism to add litotes and hyperbole to their modern storytelling. Their worldview embraces shape-shifting and gender-bending, which speaks to a world they believe they are creating anew. Yet, of course, it is not new. Perhaps next term I can introduce them to Ovid and Homer.